Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to my channel, guys. Hope you're all doing well and doing great. Today we are back with another video and we're going to discuss about some past paper questions related to the content human nutrition. As we have discussed some content and we have revised some syllabus in human nutrition, we have skipped some of the videos we're gonna try to cover in the upcoming videos, inshallah. But firstly, we're going to solve some past paper questions related to the human nutrition, so it would be easier for you to understand that what sort of questions can be a part of this content or this chapter. So without wasting any time, let's jump into the video. And before jumping into the video, I will request to make sure to firstly watch that video and firstly revise that syllabus. And other than you can revise from any other video, YouTube video, or you can revise from any other like your own notes, but firstly revise them and then try to solve the past paper samples with me. So okay, let's jump into the video and let's jump to solve some past paper questions. So here we go. So this is question number 1 from human nutrition. I have collected from different samples, from different past paper samples, like from 2019 to 2025. So have a look that figure 2.1 shows the human alimentary canal. This is basically this canal from mouth to anus is called as the human alimentary canal. So the question is, choose words from the list to label the structure A, B, C, D and E. Firstly, we're going to revise to solve that. This is, we know, oral cavity or the buccal cavity. This is esophagus. This one is liver. This one is the stomach. This one is basically the pancreas, and this one is the large intestine. This one is the small intestine. This one is rectum, and this one is anus. So let's have a look. As we have revised that, the major purpose to memorize all this is basically, even though the examiner doesn't ask, but we are revising it. If there are any other question, or if there are any other sort of questions the examiner asks, so we have in mind that what sort of answer or what sort of organ these are. So let's solve this question number 1, that choose one word. Choose words from the list to label the structure A, B, C, and D and E. And sometimes I write the complete name even though the examiner didn't ask. The purpose to write the complete name, just that in case if you ask in any other sample question, you are supposed to write the complete name. So what if you don't know the name and you just have memorized the short name? So you will get not the proper accurate marking. So for that, I will request you, or I will suggest you to write the complete name even though the examiner didn't demand. Like sometimes they didn't give the list of the name, they just ask you write the name of the organs that are mentioned, and you're supposed to answer instead of choosing from the box. So hopefully you get my point. So let's solve this. Choose the words from the list to label the structure A, B, C, D and E. A is basically, this is basically esophagus, or we can say the food pipe or gullet. So there we are having an option of esophagus, so we're gonna write esophagus. We can write with the slash using the food pipe as well, but they have already given the option, so we are supposed to choose this, but we can write that as well. So they are not going to check the food pipe, they're going to check the, definitely they're gonna check the esophagus, but the purpose to write that, so we have in our memory that okay, this is called, this point, this food pipe is also named as esophagus. So the B is basically the liver, so we have to choose the liver. Here we go with the liver. The C is basically the stomach, we have to find out the stomach. Here we go, the stomach is available, so we have to write the answer stomach over here. The D is basically the large intestine, so we have to look for large intestine. Here you go. And E is basically the small intestine, so we have to E. They haven't mentioned about the rectum, or they haven't mentioned about the pancreas, they haven't mentioned about the anus, so we are not going to write that, but we have an idea about where are they, so we are not going to do that. ठीक है, एक्स्ट्रा वर्क भी नहीं करना है, लेकिन एटलीस्ट आपको उनके पूरे नाम पता होने चाहिए. So let's jump to the question number 2. इसी का part B है that two types of muscles move the food along the alimentary canal. We have already revised that as well, that the muscles which move the food along the alimentary canal is basically circular and longitudinal muscle, which is basically also named as antagonistic movement or the peristalsis movement. And the food passes from basically, how will we define it? The food passes from oral cavity to the stomach, and this is called as by a movement, and that movement is called as antagonistic movement or peristalsis movement. But here they haven't asked about the movement, they ask about the name of the muscles. So one is circular muscle and one is longitudinal muscle. You can write longitudinal over here and circular over here, it doesn't matter, but you have to mention both of the muscles. State the name of the process that moves the food. See, there they have asked about the name of the process. You are supposed to write the peristalsis movement or antagonistic movement that move the food along the alimentary canal. and that is basically peristalsis movement. Now they have asked about that how this muscles in B part 1 move the food along the alimentary canal in B part 1, basically circular and longitudinal muscle, how they passes the food from along the alimentary canal. They will pass the food by contraction and relaxation of muscle, in which one muscle contracts, circular muscle contract, and other muscle relax, longitudinal relax, and at some point the longitudinal muscle contract and circular relax. This is how the food will passes from along the alimentary canal, like from mouth to the anus. So next question is related to the nutrition facts. They have provided about some of the nutrition, some of the nutrients, and they given the ratio, the mass in grams as well. They have given the percentage on daily value, recommended daily value. They have asked about how the nutrition provided by the snack bar, basically this power bar, for a person training for a sports event. So we can write the all of the nutrition, their role we have discussed about already. The fats provide energy. The dietary fiber basically helps to prevent constipation. The carbohydrates provide energy and also help in the cellular respiration. Protein helps to build the muscles, or to build enzymes, to produce enzymes, or to build as to act as antibodies or antibodies. Okay, vitamin C help present in the citrus fruit, help in to prevent the scurvy, and iron transport oxygen like hemoglobin, because the deficiency of iron can cause anemia. So you are supposed to write all of the functions over here and you will get exactly 4 marks. So the next question is, let me clear the screen as well. Calculate how many grams of dietary fibers are required in the diet to obtain 100 grams of the recommended daily value. So how many grams of dietary fibers? The percentage of recommended daily value is basically 12. So what we're going to do, we're going to simply divide the 12 divided by 100. We're going to divide 12 by 100 and multiply by the number of grams present in 1 bar. So in 1 gram, so that is, we're going to multiply it with the 3 and we're going to get the answer. You're supposed to do it on a calculator, and I will give you a rough estimation. Would be, when you're going to divide 12 divided by 100, it will be 0.25 something or 0.025 something you will get, and then when you're going to multiply it with the 3, you will get the 25 gram answer. So hopefully this is clear. If you're going to do it in a both way, you will get the answer of 25. You are supposed to simply solve the percentage question. So the total recommended value, you're going to divide it with the given percentage and you're going to multiply it with the 1 gram of dietary fiber contained. Describe what happened to the protein in the digestive system. So they have asked the overall question related to the digestive system. The protein is digested basically in the stomach as well as in the small intestine. So when we're going to talk about in the stomach, the protease, for the digestion of protein, there is an enzyme called as protease. So protease act as a pepsin to digest the large molecule of protein into the small molecule, small polypeptide chain. So the pepsin will digest the protein into the polypeptide, and then in the small intestine, this polypeptide, the digestion of polypeptide will convert it into the amino acid. A long chain of molecule of protein is called as polypeptide. When one amino acid combined to another, this form a long chain, and this is called as polypeptide, and they form a large complex molecule which is called as protein. तो प्रोटीन की डाइजेशन के लिए जो एंजाइम इन्वॉल्व होता है, that is called as pepsin, and protease act as a pepsin in the stomach for the digestion of protein into polypeptide, whereas it act as a protease act as a trypsin. It acts as a enzyme trypsin which digests the polypeptide into more small particles which is called as amino acid. So it will digest the polypeptide into amino acid, and the enzyme basically that is involved is called as the trypsin. So you're supposed to mention both of the enzyme pepsin and trypsin and you will get the exactly 5 marks. So hopefully this is clear as well. So next question is related to, again, I guess some sort of antagonistic movement. So they have asked, the diagram shows food inside part of the small intestine. Okay, this is the small intestine part where we have discussed about the villus and villi as well. Okay, but describe and explain how food is moved between the 2 points T and U. So basically here you can see the food is contracting. Behind the food, the contraction occur, and in front of food is basically relaxation occur. So you are supposed to write in a points or in a paragraph form. It's all up to you. You have to write antagonistic movement is involved, in which the food behind the food at point T, the food is contract, and in front of food At point U, the longitudinal muscle relax, and this is basically a rhythmic movement or the peristalsis movement, and the friction is reduced. You are supposed, and the mucus is also secreted over here, which helps to lubricate the food or soften the food and to ease the food. Basically, mucus is basically helps to trap the bacteria, so it lubricates the food. It provides friction. It helps to move the food along from one area to another area. So all of these points you're gonna write it in a bullet form or in a paragraph form, and you will get exactly 7 marks. This is 7 marks question. So state for a normal healthy movement of food through the small intestine. Now they have talking about the small intestine. So one necessary component of a balanced diet in the small intestine is basically roughage or the dietary fiber. We are supposed to write about for a normal healthy person. This is basically they're talking about the they are talking about the dietary fiber. One food that is a good source of this component, you can write one food. One necessary component of a balanced diet is dietary fiber. One food that is a good source of brown bread, you can write brown cereals, brown sugar. Okay, one effect of the malnutrition resulting from a lack of this component, basically if you're gonna not intake the malnutrition is basically lack of protein. So once you're not going to take enough dietary fiber in your body, it will cause constipation. It will cause colon cancer as well, Colon is basically the part of the large intestine, so it can cause cancer or it can cause constipation. Two other necessary component of a balanced diet, as you have discussed about, there are major balanced diet component, which is carbohydrates, protein, fat, lipids, mineral, vitamins. So you can write any of the two, and you can write all of them. So you will get exactly 2 marks, 1 marks. Each is having 1 marks. So you will exactly get 5 marks, and this is how you are supposed to solve the paper. So hopefully you have completely gotten the idea that how to solve the paper. So I will catch you in another video. Thank you so much for watching, and please share it with a Cambridge student and specifically for GCSE or IGCSE student. And I will catch you in the next video. Thank you so much, and Allah Hafiz.